You've probably heard the saying that the purpose of your marketing is to help your audience know, like, and trust you enough to want to work with you. It's not enough to simply say, hey, I've got this awesome coaching program or services package. Your audience needs to feel confident that you are the right person to solve their problem. And this is why we create all of our content. And by content, I mean emails, Instagram posts, stories, blogs, videos, challenges, freebies. You name it, anything that you create that you put out there. But creating content alone isn't what's going to help people know, like, and trust you. It's actually what's in that content and how that content makes them feel. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 things your content must do, 3 ways your content must make people feel so that they can trust you. And I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas for each of those ways on how to achieve that goal. Hi, my name's Morrow, and I help emerging coaches and transformational consultants step out of isolation and into more authentic connections with messaging that inspires them and their ideal audiences. And if this is you and you're struggling with finding clients, I encourage you to download my free training below, How to Find Clients When Social Media Isn't Doing It For You. In psychology, there's something called attachment theory. If a parent or parents bond with their child in a healthy way, that child is going to grow up to feel secure in their relationships with others. If the parents don't bond with the child in a healthy way, that child will likely experience difficulties in their relationships later on in life. They might become a people pleaser or avoid relationships or run hot and cold. So why am I talking about psychology and attachment theory in the context of your marketing? Because the same things that go into creating a healthy bond between a parent and a child is what goes into creating a healthy bond in your business. And I'm not talking here about how to make people powerless over you. I'm just talking about when you consistently put these elements, these 3 things, into your content over time, people will get to know you, they'll get to like you, and they'll start to trust you, just as a parent might bond with a child. So what are these 3 things? Well, they're the 3 things that your content must do, 3 ways you must make your audience feel. The first is make your audience feel safe. The second is make your audience feel seen. And the third is make your audience feel soothed. And the reason we need to do this is because people don't trust what's out there today. There is so much out there coming at us that the buyer is already on guard. So we kind of have to make them feel like it's okay to read our stuff, to be with our stuff, and that it's okay for them to get to know us. So when you consistently put out content that does these 3 things, the right people are going to feel secure in reaching out to you. They're going to want to know more. So how do you do each of this? Well, here are a few ideas for each. 1, make your audience feel safe. Safety comes from trusting that you are an authority, from trusting that what you say you can do is something you can actually do. And a really great way to do this is to offer social proof. Social proof is other people's endorsements of you. There are other people saying, yes, this person is legit. And one way to do this is by sharing case studies or testimonials. These are tried and true ways of building trust. Other forms of authority can come from having things like number of years in service or number of years that you've been working in a certain area. Now, this doesn't always have to be in your own business. As I showed this video, I've been on my own doing a marketing mentorship for about a year, being a marketing mentor. But I have 20 years behind that of communications, copywriting, producing videos, engaging audiences, and other things related to marketing and the things that I teach. So previous experience counts. Don't discount what your previous corporate or day job was. A final way that you can help people feel safe, if it's applicable to you, is by sharing your own story of transformation. How you used the things you teach people today to change your life. You know, a simple example, if you're a weight loss coach, did you lose a lot of weight? If you're a business coach, have you made 6 figures? If you're a self-love coach and you overcame a toxic relationship through self-love, share that story. People want to know what you did. That's what makes you an expert. Now, I want to be clear, as I mentioned in one of my list building diaries, you don't have to be a raging success in the area that you help people with for them to be successful. So if you're still working on yourself, that's okay. But definitely in your content, you want to help people feel safe so that they know that you actually do what you say you can do. And the way to do that is show evidence of your expertise. So do you struggle in any of these areas, sharing other people's stories, sharing your story, or sharing your years of experience? Which ones? Do you have any questions for me? I could do a future video on them. Let me know in the comments, and maybe you'll see something coming up. 2, make your audience feel seen. When somebody gets you, you trust them. This is why observational humor is so popular. A comedian points out something that you or the people in your world do, and you're like, oh my gosh, I do that. That's so hilarious, right? We love people who get us. We love people who see what's actually happening on the inside. It feels like an inside club, and we feel less alone. And that's what's most important here, is it makes us feel less alone, because a lot of people out there, they feel alone. They feel like they're the only one with their particular problem. They're the only one who is experiencing it the exact same way that they're experiencing it. And this feeling of isolation and solitude can ruin your hope for a better future. So when you acknowledge not only the way they're behaving, but feeling, it can be powerful. This is why empaths can be such powerful marketers, right? Because they're keen observers of what's going on with their clients. So how do you make people feel seen in your content? Well, you listen to them. You listen to them when you interact with them, and then you repeat back what they said in your content. So these interactions can come from things like market research interviews, they can come from discovery calls, they can come from networking calls, they can come from people you are coaching, people in your programs, comments you read on social media, you name it. Use the problems that people identify in their own words to create content that addresses those problems. So here's an example. A few years ago, I interviewed a bunch of people about what's stopping them from pursuing their dreams. And one person said analysis paralysis. What a great phrase. And I used that in my marketing. I can't tell you how many people related to that and said, yes, analysis paralysis. Maybe you're stuck in analysis paralysis right now, right? It was a phrase that somebody said, I repeated it back, and a lot of people felt like, yes, that's me. So listen to what people say and then repeat that back in your content. 3, make your audience feel soothed. Your audience may think, especially if they're feeling alone, that there is something fundamentally wrong with them as a person for having the problems they do. They might blame themselves, or they might be under a lot of stress due to their problem. So 2 things you can do in your content is help them. 1, know that the problem isn't them. It's not their fault, right? It's just a behavioral thing that they need to learn. And 2, you can help them get temporary relief from the problem. And then actually I'm going to add a third one here. 3, know that change is possible. Help them know that change is possible. Give them hope. So how do you reassure your audience that their suffering isn't their fault? Well, you tell them as much. You remind them that they simply haven't been taught another way. And if they knew what to do, they would have done it already because they're smart people. There's nothing wrong with them, right? Then you show them that their problem is behavioral, right? It's something that can be changed by their behavior or their choices. Even mindset is a choice of behavior. It's choosing how to think. So give them this reframe, and then give them temporary relief, right? And the way you do this is you give them a little trick, something that they can do really quickly that's going to help them feel better on the spot. It doesn't have to be like a full-blown lesson. You don't want to give away all your stuff, but you want to give away some stuff so that people see the difference that you can make in their lives. Another way to provide temporary relief is to use humor. If you can poke fun at yourself or at people in general, not a specific person in your audience, but people in general, that can help, right? It's like people pleasers say, what did you want to hear? Okay, finally, you want to give them hope. You want them to know that they don't have to suffer, that their lives can be different. And again, you do this by giving case studies, by giving your own experience or testimonials, or by simply painting the after picture and letting them know that it's possible, that this experience is possible for them, that they don't have to stay stuck wherever they are. So Do these 3 things. 1, make your audience feel safe. 2, make your audience feel seen. And 3, make your audience feel soothed. And when you do these 3 things repeatedly, your audience is going to feel secure with you. So what ideas from this video are you going to implement in your marketing? What do you do already? Share in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, like it so more people can find it. And if you'd like more, hit the subscribe button. Finally, if you're looking for some dedicated time to write your content and be accountable and create content that helps your audience feel seen, soothed, and safe, check out the Knockout Content Co-working sessions. The link is below. You got this.